traders, welcome to this Capitalise.ai webinar exclusive for Eightcap traders. We really appreciate you coming out this evening, and we got a lot to unpack today. But before we begin, give me a quick yes on the chat that you can hear me and that you can see my screen. I'm on the Capitalise.ai platform for Eightcap. It's Eightcap.Capitalise.ai. George, hi, welcome, thanks. Joshua, great. George, okay, again. Sally, David. Okay, we got quite a few traders in here. Wonderful. So as we're going through this, you know, if something happens with the sound or with the screen, please let me know about it straight away. And if you have any questions while we're going through this, please make use of the chat box. You'll find it in the control panel somewhere there where a lot of you are typing now. So please make use of it with any questions you may have or comments. That would be great. So let's go. Let's get into it, and we'll just slowly get into it for the next minute or so, and just give a few more people just a minute or two to get into the room. Just for anyone new here, Capitalise is free of charge for all Eightcap traders. Anyone that has an Eightcap demo account or a real account can access Capitalise free of charge. You can just go to eightcap.capitalise.ai, and there's no even sign up needed. You can go ahead and just log in with your MT4 credentials. Make sure to check the server that you're on, and you'll see all this information when you create your account, and then you can go ahead and log in. So traders, today we're going to be looking at using Capitalise with Tradingview and how you can set up strategies with that. We're going to be setting up some strategies throughout this webinar and running them. So we'll just wait here to log into Capitalise. And for anyone new, with Capitalise, you can create and automate your trading strategies in everyday English. The first page you'll see is the live examples page. If you need any help while you're on the platform, you can always get us here on the in-app chat. And you can find all of your pages on the left-hand menu bar. And the first one we're going to go ahead and do is create new strategy. Okay, David, this is actually a great question. So David's asking, is this only works on MT4 or also MT5? At the moment, guys, it's only MT4, but we are looking at implementation, you know, in the future for MT5. So here on Create New Strategy is where you create all of your strategies. Whether you're using fundamental data or technical indicators, or price action or levels or volatility. You can even create candlestick patterns on Capitalise. But today, what we're going to look at is using Tradingview. And Tradingview, for anyone new here, is a charting software. You can just visit the site at tradingview.com, and almost anything you can do on Tradingview, you could automate via Capitalise. And that's what we're going to look at doing today. So just a few important points around Tradingview. When you're using it, you always want to make sure you're selecting the correct source. So if we're going to go ahead and look at, we'll do our first strategy on euro dollar. You'll see here we have all our euro dollars, and here we have all our sources. So we're going to want to pick Eightcap's data. You want to be using their exact data. And you can see here that we're on Eightcap's euro dollar data. You can adjust the time frame. It's very important when creating these strategies that you create it on the chart on the time frame that you want to use it on. So I suppose we could leave it on a 5 minute here. And here's where you can select all of your indicators in your strategies. They have a lot of indicators, a lot of strategies. So for example, let's go ahead here. Babs, you're saying I'm fading in and out. I know I may be having issues with my microphone. Guys, let me know if it does get too bad. So here is where you can find all of your indicators and your strategies. So for example, we could go with our, we could find, for example, a parabolic SAR, which we don't have on Capitalise. And you can see it brings up technicals. Technicals are the built-in. And then you also have the community scripts here. So these are really nice. These are traders that are sharing their strategies, and you can also use these as well. And then you also have some other options. You can use, trend lines, vertical lines to automate off. So let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to do for our first one is we're going to make it very simple here. We're going to use a support and a resistance line, and I'm going to put a horizontal line there, and I'm just going to put one up there. And for our first strategy today, we're going to be able to trigger a trade from these lines using Capitalise. So what I'll do is let's hide the screen so we can see everything. And in order to do this, we're going to go ahead and use a webhook. So we'll go and say if webhook. And here you'll see we get a URL and a message, and you need both of these to set the alert, whether it's on a horizontal line or a trending line or a strategy or an indicator. You're going to need both of these for Tradingview. And a webhook is a way to send a message. That's why we need both of these details. And we're going to go ahead now and set the alert. So you can set an alert up here. You can also set an alert on the right-hand side here. You can just add one there. Or you can right-click on the line and add an alert here. And then we're going to go ahead with our conditions. And our first one's going to be really easy. We're just going to look for the price, the dollar, to cross, the euro dollar, sorry, to cross the horizontal line. We could go crossing up or down, less than. There are specifics that we can look at when setting these conditions. But for our first one, we're just going to use a very basic one of crossing the horizontal line. Now, if we're looping a strategy, you want to go anything other than only once. So once per bar, once per minute, or once per bar close. So let's just go once per minute. And then we're going to get to our alert actions. And here you're going to have select a webhook URL. You will need the minimum subscription with Tradingview to activate this, to use a webhook with them. My URL is already there because you can see I've been setting up alerts, but if it's your first time, you're not going to see anything in the URL. And that's where you're going to copy the URL right here. And we're going to go ahead and paste it in. We can then name the strategy, this alert. I'll just call it R1. And if there's any message here, you can delete it. And we're going to copy the message from the web. And we're going to paste it in. Now we've got our alert set up. So when this line, when the price crosses this line, at a minimum of once per minute, we're going to get an alert from Tradingview. We're going to receive a message, and therefore we're going to trigger the strategy. So we can go ahead and create. Let's just move this up a bit. And let's just give this a name. We'll just call this in. Oh, did that not take? Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's in black there. Don't know why it's in black. Let's put it in. Yeah, that's okay. Great. So then we can go ahead and complete our strategy. And you can use multiple webhooks in a strategy, or you can use webhooks with other conditions that we have in Capitalise. And we'll do that in our next strategy, but we're going to go ahead now and then say, then let's buy, what are we going to buy? A 0.01 lots of EUR USD. You can write lots or you can use units. So you could write 0.01 lots, or you could just write by 1,000 EUR USD. 0.1 would be obviously 10,000 EUR USD. Great, so we've got our webhook set up. We're going to go ahead and click next. And let's say we're going to exit with this line here. Well, we could use a webhook in the close as well. So we'll go ahead and say close position if webhook. And we got the URL and the message. And we're going to go ahead again and set up the alert. So we'll right click on it, add the alert. And we're going to use the same condition. We're just going to look for it to cross because we just want to trigger the strategy. We'll go once per minute. And you can see because I've created one now, the URL is already there. So I don't have to copy that anymore. I can just call this S1. And I'm going to delete the exit. Sorry, the message. I'm going to copy the message from Capitalise and I'm going to paste it in here. And now we've got our second alert set up. So I'm going to create that. We'll just call that out. And let's go right there. Okay, so here we have our two lines. And we could add more conditions here. We could add a stop loss or a take profit, a trailing stop, or even some other condition. We'll do that in the next one, but we can go ahead and click next. And then we've created our strategy. One important thing to note with the webhook is we can't backtest the webhook on Capitalise because we don't know the underlying condition. We just get the message on when your condition is met. So I'm going to go ahead here and run now. And we're going to trigger this strategy. So let's say that you're running this between these two support and resistance. This is where you want to trade. And what would happen is, let's just assume the price is moving up. So I'm going to move the line down. You can see that this is waiting for the trigger now. And if I move the line down to somewhere around that area here, you can see it just executed. So we got in at the execution price, and you can see it's working on exit now. It's running at the moment, so I'll just move this back up. And let's say the price moves down and we want to exit the trade now. So I'll just move that up there to exit, or somewhere around there rather. And we should get a trigger the moment the price crosses. Maybe I'm a bit too low there. Oh, okay, there we are. It triggered there. So that's how essentially a webhook works. When your condition is met, we're going to trigger. You can automate your trading with that. So you can use support and resistance lines like these, horizontal lines. You could also perhaps want to be trading off a trend line, something like that. You can most certainly put a condition in there and create an alert with this and then automate your trading off it. Okay, David, yeah, great point you're making here. You can use pivot points. So you can use pivot points from the indicators here. However, pivot points is actually available on Capitalise. Just so you guys know, we have the most basic indicators, everything from RSI to MACD, stochastic, Bollinger, pivot, ATR, and EMA, moving average, and so on. Those you can find, if you want to use pivot, if euro dollar is above PS. Pivot point 1, 2, and 3. But yeah, I get your point. You can most certainly use pivot points for this. Okay, great. So traders, let's get into one more example, and then we're going to go ahead and create a live strategy and run it. So something that may happen is that, or one thing to note is that when a webhook triggers in a strategy, it will stay triggered until the strategy enters, if it's in the entry, or until the strategy exits, if it's in the exit. Now, there is a way to untrigger a webhook. So let's see how it works. And then the next strategy, we're going to apply it with an indicator. So let's say here we have, we're going to go ahead and create a strategy. So we'll go ahead and say if webhook, and again, I'm going to get my URL in a message. This time though, I'm only going to, actually I'll leave it at in and out. And I'm just going to adjust the, well, let's actually just create a new one rather. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and create another horizontal line, and we'll do another one as well. And we'll just go here for green. Okay, so this is going to be our trigger. And this is going to be our untrigger. And you can think, so let's go ahead here, and this is going to be our trigger. We're only going to use a strategy that has an entry. So what we're going to do is set the alert on here, and I'm going to use the entry as the alert. I'm just going to use the crossing again once per minute. My URL is there. I'll just call this test for now. And I'm going to delete the message, and I'm going to copy the entry message. I'm going to paste it there. What I'm going to do also is I'm going to bring up a notepad. And I'm just going to paste the alert that I just copied there. Okay, great. And I'm going to go ahead and finish the strategy. So I'm going to go and then say, then let's sell this time. Let's sell one lot of euro dollar. And there's our entry. So when the line touches there, it's going to get us in for a sell. We'll go ahead and click next. And, or actually, let's put in a condition that won't be true with it as well. That would help. Is the webhook? Is that the same one I had? I think it's changed now. Let me see. Yeah, I think it has. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. And I'm just going to put a condition that is not true at the moment. So, and let's say if EUR USD is below 0.5, which it's obviously not. It's at 1.05. Then let's buy. Oh, yeah, we can go with the 5. Doesn't matter. EUR USD. Okay, so we've got in the webhook triggers, we know this condition will never be true, and that's what we want. We can go ahead then and click next, and on the exit, under the next, you can skip the exit. So this is only going to have an entry for us, and we can go ahead and click next here, and I'm going to let that run. Now, we can also set up a condition in with webhooks where the trigger becomes untrue. So let me just make sure that the alert needed a change. You can see the messages here. See the alert messages should match. Okay, so that trigger is set, and now we're going to set the untrigger. And we're going to go into the applications for this. There's a lot of applications you can use with regards to untriggering. And to untrigger, what we're going to do is create an alert. And in the alert, we're just going to use the ID. And it's going to follow with this. And guys, don't worry if you can't remember this. You can find all of the stuff on our support page, exact walkabout guides, and so on. Guys, I see the questions coming through. Keep them coming through. I'm going to get to them as soon as I can. So let's go ahead here and create a strategy to untrigger. Here, what we're going to do is create an alert on here. And when the euro dollar crosses the horizontal line, my URL is there already. I can just call this Untrigger. And I'm just going to delete the message, and I'm going to paste what I just copied from the notepad here. Yeah. And we're going to go ahead and create. And let's go ahead and trigger this. So I'm going to move the line up there. And you see there, we just got a trigger. The strategy hasn't entered because the other condition is still waiting to be met. It's not true at the moment. So this webhook would normally stay triggered until the other conditions are met. However, if you're using something specific, you may only want it triggered for a certain amount of time. So we can go ahead here and we can look at untriggering it. So if we just move that up there and we wait for the price to cross the line here, we should see this. You can see it's triggered right now. We should see it untriggered. A bit above the line, maybe. Let me go there. That should get close. That should untrigger us, and there it goes, and it untriggers the webhook. So you can trigger and untrigger webhooks. So let's get into it here and create a strategy where we want to use this with perhaps an indicator that we don't yet have on Capitalise, something like a parabolic SAR or super trend. But there are hundreds that you can use with this. So I'm going to go ahead and create strategy, and let's go ahead and change our assets. Let's look at Bitcoin. And remember, when you're selecting the asset, make sure you select Eightcap's data. And there we are. We'll look at Bitcoin here, and let's go ahead and add an indicator. So here we'll just add a super trend. As I said, we do have the built-ins and then the community scripts. Some of these scripts are really nice to use, so I'll just show you the difference if we just use a built-in super trend versus something like this. Okay, so if we look at the built-in one, it doesn't give us the buy and the sell. You can still use it though. However, it's much easier to use some of these community scripts which give us the buy and the sell signal. And you can also adjust the settings of each of these here if you're using different settings. So let's go ahead and create a strategy with this. Maybe we can add another indicator like ADX that we could use. And let's go ahead and create this strategy. So it's going to be on Bitcoin dollar. And every time we get a buy signal, we want to get into the market. Let's actually just close this. There we are. That may be a bit better. So every time we get a buy signal here, we want to get into the market. So we're going to go ahead and say if webhook again, and we're going to create the alert once again. And this time though, we're not going to use the price. We're going to select what we have on our chart. So we know we're using the super trend. And here you can see it gives the buy and the sell. You also have some others if you're looking for something specific, but we're going to go with the buy here. Here I'm going to go, let's go once per bar close. And actually here, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do sell. Maybe we can get a trigger in the next couple of minutes. So let's go ahead and go with a sell strategy here. The URL is there. This is going to be my sell super trend BTC USD. And on the message here, I'm going to delete everything there. And here I'm just going to copy the message. No need to copy the URL. Mine's there already. So I just paste the message in there. And I'm going to go ahead and create. So that's our first condition done. Now you may want to add some other conditions. So let's say, okay, we'll take the buy signal as long as when the buy signal comes, the price is, let's say, oh, sorry, the sell signal comes. Let's say the price is above the moving average. So we'll get that one, that one. We won't get that one, we'll get that one. Let's add that in. We'll get that one as well. So we want the price to be above this moving average. I'm using a 200 here, and we don't have to set a webhook on that because we could use that on Capitalise. We can say, and if, let's say, BTC USD moving let's say price is below BTC USD moving average. And on Capitalise, anytime you select an indicator, you can change the parameters on the tooltip above. So here I'm just using a 200. I'm using a 5 minutes. Yeah, I'm using the close on this one. And we could also perhaps add one more condition. So we could say perhaps something like, if we're going to use an ADX, perhaps we want to be in a, we want to clarify that we're in strong trends. Let's say we want to be above 20 on here. So if we make here 20, let's say you want to use this as well. So we want the ADX to be above 20. And if the ADX is below 20, then we maybe want to untrigger it, because then maybe the strength is not too strong for this trend. So we can add that in as well. We could say, and let's say webhook. And I'll just create another alert on this ADX. So I'm going to go with, I'm going to go to create alert. And here I'm going to select the ADX. And I'm going to go with 1 per minute. My URL is there already. This will just be ADX above 20. And we could just move the message there, copy the message, and paste it in. Now I want to untrigger this. I want to untrigger this webhook if the ADX is below 20 as well. So I'm just going to keep it there, and we'll do that just now. There's my alert ID, and while I'm here, I'll just copy from the inverted commas all the way to the end and just paste it over here. And as I said, you can find this formula on our support page here, guys, so don't stress. But I'll keep that for now, just now. And here I'm going to go ahead and click create. So now we've got the price above the, oh, you know what, I see here, we didn't actually put it above, we put it below. So we should change that to above. Any word that appears in bold, we change it with a click of a mouse, so above. So here we're using a super trend, we're using a moving average, and we're also using an ADX. Then we're going to say, then sell, let's go with 1,000 USD worth of BTC. And there we've got our entry done. Before we move on to we can move on to our exit now, I want to just set up the untrigger. I'm only interested if the ADX is greater than 20 to take this trade. If it's below 20, don't want to be in the trade. So we could go ahead and just create another alert for this. And in this case, I'm going to be talking about the, oh, you know what? Let's just quickly go back. I missed a step here. Here's my ADX above 20, but I didn't actually put it above 20. Let's say is greater than 20. So we can say that. And now we can go ahead and create the untrigger alert for this. So we're going to go ahead and say if the ADX is, let's say, less than, sorry, there, 20. And now the URL is there once per minute. And here I'm going to put the untrigger message. I've copied the message already from there, so I'll just copy that and we'll just paste it in there. And that will untrigger anytime the value is less than 20. I'm going to click create. And you can always check your strategies here. So let's just check this again. Was it once per minute? Okay, I just want to check the super trend was once per minute. I'll go with that. It was a sell, just save. And then we're ready to, now we're ready to go. So we can also close the position with a webhook. So we can set it up and say, okay, we're getting in with the sell, we may want to get out with the buy. So we could say close position if webhook, and let's set up a quick alert for the buy to close us out. So indicators, alert. And this time I'm going to use the super trend. I'm going to use the buy signal once per minute. I'm going to go with this time. The URL is there. I could name it. I'm not going to right now. I'm going to delete the strategy. I'm going to copy just the message for the exit. And I'm going to go ahead and create. And we could add some others in here, you know, if it triggers, or let's say if or at profit above 8%, or let's say a trailing stop of 1.5%. So you can add as many conditions here as you want. And we can go ahead here and run it. We're making okay time, traders. I see the questions coming through. I'm going to get to them. There's just one more thing we need to cover, and then we'll get to those questions. So just hang in there. So on the confirmation page, I'm going to want to run this in loop. So every time it finishes a cycle, an entry and exit, it's going to start another cycle. And here, I'm going to go ahead and run it. So let's hope in the next 15 minutes or 20 minutes that we got, let's hope maybe this is, we're above the moving average at the moment. The price is moving down, so there could be a change here. And the ADX, okay, as long as it's not below 20, we should be okay. So we'll see what happens here. You can see here, this first condition is already met. The price is above the moving average. So we're just waiting for these triggers to happen. So while we're waiting for that, you can also use multiple webhook messages in one alert. So you may be running a strategy, you may be running two strategies. One is a buy and one is a sell on the same asset. And you may be using the same point to get in and out of. And you can do that on Capitalise as well. So let's go ahead and create very quickly two strategies that will, okay, let's go to euro dollar this time. We haven't created a strategy. Actually, we have already. Yeah, we can just go to them. Make sure to select Eightcap's data is there. And actually, let's go to another chart, USD, CAD maybe, or let's go to AUD USD. Let's see what's happening on the dollar, US dollar. We want to go Eightcap. So let's say we're trading here with a super trend, and every time a buy signal comes, we want our long strategy to enter, and we want our short strategy to exit. You can most certainly create this as well. So here we're going to go with our long strategy. So we're going to say buy 10,000 AUD USD if webhook triggers. And this is on the buy here that we're going on the Aussie dollar. So we're going to go to indicate, we're going to go to alert. And here, I'm just going to do it very quickly. I'm going to go to the super trend. I want the buy signal. And once per minute, my URL is there. I'll just call this long AUD USD. And here, I'm going to copy the message. That's for our long strategy. And we're going to close it. I'm just going to create that for now and keep that. We're going to close it with the sell. So I'm going to go ahead and set the alerts up. I'm going to go close position if webhook. And I'm going to copy the message there, and this is for the sell super trend. And I'm going to go once per minute, webhook URL. Here, I'm just going to call it short AUD USD. And I'm going to paste the message in there and create. Now, we've got our long strategy set up. We've got our long entry and our long exit. I'm just going to call this long AUD USD. And let's run in a loop, and I'm going to go ahead and run. Now we're going to set up our short strategy on AUD USD. So I'm going to go ahead and just create another one. And I'm going to go, oh, what did we actually use in that? Was that 10,000 that we used? Let me just see what the amount was. 10,000, okay. So we could go ahead and say sell 10,000 AUD USD if webhook. And the webhook that we want, the short, is the same one, the short. That's what we want to enter with on our short strategy. So now we can just double click on there and edit. Now what we're going to do, and guys, don't worry if you can't remember this, you can find everything in our support page. I'm just going to quickly do this. I'm going to paste it there. And what I need is to put an S. We're going to just copy from inverted comma to inverted comma, no space afterwards. I think I've got a space there, but I will delete it. I'm going to put a comma there. And let me just take that space away. And all I'm going to do is just add brackets. And again, you don't have to remember this. Everything is available on our support page. And I'm just going to delete that. So now we've got two webhooks which are going to trigger off the short. It's going to be the entry for the short and the exit for the long. I'm going to go ahead and create that and finish this off. And then we can close the position with the long. So if webhook, and now I'm just going to double click on the long. I'm going to copy the message, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'll do it very quickly here because we are running out of time, guys. I'm just going to copy from inverted comma to inverted comma. Don't leave any spaces after you paste it. You'll see there's often a space there, but there shouldn't be. Just move back. And then I'll square brackets. And there we go. So we have a short and a long strategy on one asset that is, when one is opening, the next is closing. And we can go ahead here and run that. Oh, did I miss the exit? Triggers, there we go. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I am skipping the exit there. I don't know why it was clicked on there. Yeah. I may have hit it by mistake. Okay, so we're going to go ahead here and run this. And let's just look at our BTC USD strategy. Let's see if we're close to maybe triggering. So we're going to hit that. It may take a little while. Okay. While we're watching this happen, I'm just going to go to my strategy page. I'm going to get to questions now in a minute. So we can watch our strategies here. There's our long, there's our short. And there's our Bitcoin strategy that we just created now, and we'll just see how this plays out. And while we are watching that, let's just get to some questions here. Sanjay, it's very rare with connection issues and so on. We'll keep you informed as well in the in-app chat. And if you notice something that's going on with your strategy that perhaps you're not too sure about, you can most certainly just chat with us here on the in-app chat about any issues. Oh, guys, I see that someone was commenting the sound was bad. I hope it wasn't too bad. Let me know in the chat. Okay, so we got some other questions here. Sanjay, great question here. Can we partially close positions? So no, at the moment you can't partially close positions. You need to close the full position if you're using an exit in your strategy. However, there are ways to scale in and scale out of the strategy by using DCA. I'm not going to get into the dollar cost averaging strategy now. It's gonna be in another webinar, but if you're very interested in it, you can just chat with us here on the in-app chat, and you can check our support page for some content on that. Let's see some others. David, yeah, it's very easy to include a stop loss or a take profit on your exit. Obviously, on your entry, you can't use a stop loss or take profit on that. So guys, let me know if you have any more questions coming through. I want to see if this strategy may trigger here. Or we've got our euro dollar going at the moment. Let's see here, EUR USD. May have been better to try it on a 1 minute. Oh, sorry, I needed Eightcap's data for that. Euro USD. Let's just check that out. Okay, so we may be a little bit far from triggering these, but you guys can go ahead and create these strategies. Remember, you can connect this to a Eightcap demo account if you want to test and see how it runs. Where do we have data here? There we go. So you can set this up on your demo account or on your live account. Just quickly, we are well over time at the moment, but just very quickly, if you're looking for anything specific, you can always come to our support center here. You could look through the categories here, or if you're looking for something specific, you can always just type it in and you'll get some that come up. Again, if there's something you're not that you're specifically looking for and can't find, you can always get us here on the in-app chat. Great, guys. I think that's all for myself today. Thanks so much for joining. Really appreciate it. Go ahead. Log into Capitalise free of charge, just at eightcap.capitalise.ai. Log in with your demo credential, with your MT4 demo credentials, or with your MT4 live credentials, and go ahead and play around and create these strategies. Thank you, guys. I see all the comments coming through. Thank you so much, Sally. Thank you, David. George, thank you. John, thank you so much. Peter, no, you can only log in with your MT4. Even if you're using MT5, just guys, go to eightcap.com, download the MT4 trader, and you can just set up a demo account and log in and go ahead and just see how it works and create those strategies. Guys, until next time, thanks so much. Have a great day and take care.